it's Trena at John's Furniture Repair here, and I am with someone who has come down to help me with a problem that many of you pointed out. This is Scott from Fixing Furniture, and we're welcoming him here to the shop to help me sharpen my chisels. Thanks for coming, Scott.
No problem. So yes, we both have YouTube channels, and on my channel I focus a lot on furniture repairs that are wood repair related.
Yes.
My background is custom woodworking. That was my business before I changed it into this. So what I'm going to do is walk you through a foolproof way to make sure your chisels get sharp and they stay sharp.
Thank you, Scott.
So
check out his channel.
There are a few things that you need. So let's talk about keeping them sharp first.
Okay.
This is called a strop, and it's a piece of leather, and I've got compound on it. You can buy compound to rub it on.
Okay.
And the compound is a slight abrasive. And what you're going to do is, when you've got your chisel, hold it onto the bevel. Mm-hmm. And I draw it back about 30 times.
Okay.
And what this does is it keeps a keen edge. And once you've done that 30 times, you just run it back once.
Okay.
Do that with a compound, and then go to the bare leather side, which is even finer, and do the same thing. So 30 times this way, hold it flat, and then once. So by doing this, you're preventing yourself from having to sharpen.
Right.
So it's a good practice to get into,
okay.
And this way you can shave off the finest piece of wood. It's going to be beautiful. So we're going to work on a few of your chisels.
My poor chisels.
Now, they do
Yours
need
are very nice and clean, and mine are sad and disrespected.
So there is a tip I've got for you. So when you're using your chisel and you want to make sure it doesn't get dull, the best thing to do when you set it down the bench is turn the bevel down, so the curve side down.
Just like how you put your plane on the edge.
That's right. So you don't want that blade to touch the surface. So every time you set it down, set it that way. It just helps keep it sharp.
Nice.
So that'll keep it nice and sharp. But to get it sharp, we need to use a sharpening stone.
All right.
Now, there are 3 different types of sharpening systems. You can use a diamond stone. This is a whetstone.
Okay.
And then there are abrasive pads that you can use as well.
So I've got this one. Is this anything close?
That's an oil stone.
An oil stone. Okay.
So
different.
They work roughly the same.
Okay.
Now, the reason that I use this type of system is because it works very fast.
Ah.
So
I like that. Fast is good.
I've got a holder here.
Okay.
And this has a 1000 grit on this side and a 4000 grit on that side. If you're used to sandpaper, that sounds like a really high grit.
So where can we get these things?
Yeah, so I'm a real Lee Valley fan.
Me too.
This is a Lee Valley sharpening stone.
Okay.
This is what they would typically recommend for an entry level for sharpening.
Ah, perfect.
So the stone is one ingredient. The other part is you need a honing guide. Now, if you tried to do this by hand, you could try and do it this way, but just the slightest different angle, you're going to end up with not an optimal edge.
Right.
So let me show you what a good edge looks like. So here,
nice.
Get that in the light.
So see.
What we want to do is see at the very edge, there's a bevel, a micro bevel, and it's a mirror finish. So I'll just move that a little bit, and you should be able to see some light reflecting off of it. And that's what your cutting edge is. And that's what we're going to get one of your chisels to, and get it set that way.
Nice. So
in order to do that, you need a guide.
Okay.
So this is a sharpening guide. This is called the Mark II. Mm-hmm. This is a Veritas tool.
Okay.
And what it does is it guarantees that it's always at the same angle as you're sharpening it. So this piece goes on first, and we're going to sharpen this one. It looks like a 3/4 inch.
Okay.
So there's a handy little gauge here that shows you, if I set it there, that'd be 3/4 inch.
For the width of the chisel?
So we set the width.
Okay.
Then what you need to do is set the angle of the blade. So here I've got it set to 25 degrees, which is standard for a chisel.
Okay.
And if you're not familiar with a chisel, this is something called a bevel gauge.
Ah.
So what you can do is put your chisel in each of the different slots, 25, 20, this one is 30, and see what it lines up to.
Okay.
But a chisel is typically a 25.
Okay.
And you can use this with a plain blade as well.
Yeah.
So that just tells you what angle you're working with to set it here.
Okay, nice.
So now that we know the angle and we've got it locked into our right width, we insert the chisel. So it goes in here And there's an edge here because we want this to be perfectly square.
Right.
And we take it down to that point.
Okay.
And then there are thumb screws here. Get it locked in first. So the thumb screws here just clamp the chisel in place.
Nice.
So now that we've done that,
there we go.
We slide that out of the way.
Ah, so that's all your setup.
The chisel is all one piece with the guide.
Okay.
And this is a roller.
Nice.
So you put it on here, and now you've got a consistent angle.
Very cool.
Okay. So there's something here that I will show you afterwards, but let's clear a bit of space.
Okay.
Because these are wet stones.
And this is just water.
This is just water.
Okay.
Nothing but water. And you see how it's soaking in?
Yeah.
So a stone you can actually soak in water and let it absorb.
Okay.
And as we go through this process, it will absorb less and less. And the technique for this is, because we've got a wide roller here, it's very stable at the back.
Okay.
What we want to do is put pressure in the middle and then rub it back and forth. Now, these stones wear very quickly. And in order to prevent your stone from getting really warped, what you want to do is work side to side. So I'm going to start here, right at the edge, and I'm working my way towards the middle, and then all the way to the other edge, and then I keep coming back. Now you see there are dark marks in there?
Yep.
That's from metal. So we're actually taking parts of the metal off.
Nice.
And as we work through this, we're going to build up a bunch of sludge at the end there. So what we want to do is work through the 1000 grit first.
Yeah.
And then we're going to move over to the other side, which is a finer grit. So I'm going to set this here, and we'll take a close up and look at that. So the shiny part is where we're starting to take it down.
Is way off.
Yeah, so these chisels need a lot of TLC right now.
Yes, so I should spend a day.
Well, you could spend a day doing it, but you're going to drive yourself nuts. What I recommend is just do one a day, and then get you through your set.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're putting the primary bevel on it.
Okay.
But that's not the cutting surface we want.
Right. That's
Once we've got the primary bevel, we put a micro bevel on it, and that it's the tip. And what that allows you to do is you've got a sharp edge, you keep that edge maintained, and then when you need to sharpen it again, you just sharpen the micro bevel.
Okay.
And it's a lot less metal.
Yes.
So it happens very quickly.
I will confess that they just go to the grinder and get destroyed when I'm in a hurry, which is my problem in the shop. I'm always in a hurry trying to get stuff finished.
Yeah,
that's why I don't buy myself nice chisels. Because I'm always worried I'm just not going to respect them properly. I'm kind of a tornado in the shop.
Well, I bought a new chisel here. And
that's very nice.
When you get them brand new, you can see there's still some tooling marks on there.
Oh, yeah.
There's some lines, I guess you'd say, on the edge of it. So this is how a tool would typically come.
Yep.
I haven't sharpened this yet.
Okay.
So this, I can immediately put a micro bevel on.
Yep.
Or I could spend the time to polish up that end before I put the micro bevel on.
Interesting.
So let me continue to work through here, and we'll see what a good chisel looks like.
It'll be the only one in the shop, Scott. You need to go to Scott's channel and thank him by subscribing, because he came here to sharpen my chisels. So he's a pretty nice guy. He knows a lot of stuff too.
So there's a little bit left on the end there.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is pause at this point.
Yes.
I'm going to put the micro bevel on.
Okay.
So why don't I just set this here so we can take a close-up, take a look at it.
Better than when it was new.
So I'm going to flip this stone over.
Okay.
So we're going from 1000 here to 4000 here. Now you can use this 4000 on that surface as well.
Okay.
But it's really not going to make a difference in your cutting.
Yeah.
It'll look pretty.
Sure. Be so shiny.
It's not going to work that well. So really on this gauge, there's a dial right here. And this is on the wheel, and it's slightly offset. So when I pull this out and give it a twist twice, that puts a micro bevel. So what it's doing is it's raising this up just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So now just the tip is going to be touching this stone.
Yes.
And so that's going to be the cutting edge that
Okay.
we're working on. So again, just wet this. And when I do this the first time, I like to go across the stone once and look at the alignment, because if the chisel's slightly skewed, it's going to be wider on one edge than another.
Okay.
If we get lucky here, it'll be exactly the same.
Not too bad.
Yeah, so from an alignment perspective, I think we're good. It's going to take a bit of polishing to get this edge down. Okay, so the other part of this process, I actually didn't do at the start, but we're going to have to do it now, is leveling the back.
Right. It has schmutz on it.
We need to lap the back. And what that does, we got a perfectly flat edge. We have a micro bevel. We'll have a good cutting edge.
Okay.
So I'm just going to set that here. You take a look at it. And I'm going to set out a couple of chisels here so you can see a couple of examples up close. So this one has a polished bevel and a micro bevel. This one is fresh from a factory, so it doesn't have anything that's been done to it yet. It needs to be
So do you
sharpened.
have to put a micro bevel on the one from the factory before you use it?
You don't have to, but if you want to sharpen it, you have to sharpen that whole surface.
Oh, so it's just a lot easier if you keep that micro bevel to have a shorter sharpening session.
Right. It's less work is what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to take this out now.
Okay.
And we're going to lap the back. So the process I just showed you was how to sharpen the chisel. You should actually start with lapping the back, which I failed to do.
That's okay.
Now the process for doing this, you want it perfectly flat. You don't want to lift it up at all.
Okay.
So this hand is really just holding the weight. This finger here is holding it down on the surface. So what we're doing is we're just smoothing out the back. And when you do this, you don't need the whole back of it flattened.
You're never going to use most of it.
It's that front edge.
Yeah.
And when chisel manufacturers, quality chisel manufacturers make these, they actually have a bit of a concave in the middle.
Oh, okay. I think
So as I'm
seen
doing
that.
this, I should really just be doing the outside edge. Let's see what happens with this one. Okay, so you can see the staining is still in the center, but out near the point, we've exposed some new metal.
Okay, cool.
So there's a little bit of a spot in the middle right there that's not quite there yet. So I'll just do it a little bit more.
Okay.
And because this is the 1000 grit, we're going to get to a certain degree of sharpness. We're going to move over to the 4000 and get that finer cut.
Nice.
So it's a more polished edge.
Yep.
Now, the way I test chisels, I don't recommend everybody do this, but
My dad always sliced his nail.
like that.
Yeah, he used to do that.
So some people use paper.
Yep.
But I actually just feel it with my finger.
Woohoo!
How's that work?
Nice. Oh, nice job. Little curly cues. Nice. Well, thanks, Scott.
You're welcome.
I'm probably going to buy new chisels. It's either new shoulders or new chisels. It's one of the two. But anyways, I really, really appreciate you coming down and doing this with me today, because it's something that I've really been meaning to spend some time learning, and I really appreciate you bringing your expertise here.
No problem. As you can see, it's really the right tools.
Yeah.
Now you know the technique.
Yes.
So you can be successful at it.
Yeah, thank you. And so you guys, please do go to Fixing Furniture and check out his videos there. He is very educational, and he's got a lot of good tips on fixing things properly. And he's got a lot of good material there. So please do go there, subscribe, like his videos, and show him thanks for coming over here and helping me get my chisels sharp so you can enjoy me cutting things more in our videos here. So thanks again, Scott.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Take care.